Okay, so now that was the ESP32 device. What if you have an NRF52 device and it can't connect to Wi-Fi? What does that look like? Well, here we have this is a LilyGo T-Echo, and it does not have the capability of connecting to Wi-Fi, and the battery in it is almost dead, and that's going to probably cause a problem, because one thing I can realize is it's probably going to die about mid-video here, and we're going to wonder why things aren't working. Here's our node here. We don't have any other nodes because, again, we're not connected to anything via RF. This is on a Mac OS operating system, and what we do is we come down here to settings, down here in the bottom, and we hit this, and then, sorry about that, you're going to load a screen like this. This is settings. All right, and the same as the same as the other one, and just to show you, I am on LTE, I am not on Wi-Fi. Okay, so what we're going to do here is we're going to go to channels, because it's, I don't know, we'll do channels first because it's there, and we got primary, and then we have our admin channel. If you did want to administer commands over the MQTT, you would enable that uplink as well, but in this case, I'm just going to do the primary channel because I just want to keep it easy. So let's do this one and this one, and we're enabling uplink and downlink for the primary channel, and we're going to hit save, and it's going to reboot, and you're going to see it at the top green here. It's probably going to go red. I think it reboots for this, and again, maybe not. It'll definitely reboot for the next one. All right, so then we're going to scroll down here to MQTT right here, and we're going to click on MQTT. Now in here, again, we're just going to enable the we're going to enable it there. This MQTT client, we're going to enable that one on this one. What this does is this lets your whatever, so I'm on LTE right now, it's going to allow me to connect over LTE to the MQTT broker. You can turn off the broker but still let it connect by flipping this. So if we turn this one on, it's going to disconnect from the MQTT, but we don't want to do that. We want to connect to MQTT, so we're going to leave that one off. Encryption is going to be off. JSON enabled. I'm going to leave it off, and again, I'll show you at the end of the video what that does. And then we have the TLS enabled right here. That's going to be off as well. Now, I'm going to enter in my super secret MQTT.Nova Radio Systems .com. Okay, now I'm going to enter in my super user email address and password here, and excuse me while I do that. And again, this lets me into a topic that is not a topic that anybody wants to use for anything other than testing, for me to test and our little network here to test. So I'm hitting save right now, and so it's saving the configurations. This is going to reboot, and this guy here is going to go red. There it is, and then it's going to reboot, and then it's going to connect back to this again via Bluetooth, and hopefully we'll be on the broker, and we should start seeing some nodes here once this happens. So this might take a couple seconds or something to squawk out a location or whatever. Alright, so as we see here, we have 3 nodes now. That's because we are connected via the MQTT, and these will roll around as they do. So this one here is the one that's we're actually connected to, this Erie County base tower one. This one is the one that we did with the web browser. So that one is still connected to the broker, and then this one here is our gateway node that's in Volney, New York. It's over 100 miles away. This one is going to, of course, feed it to this one. This one is Volney 1. Once it squawks out its it captures its full thing, and that's how that whole thing is going to work and look. So let me see here. So again, if we look at how this is set up, we can run trace routes from here. So if we want to know how many hops we're actually going to need, again, this one obviously is RF, so this one's RFing to this one, and then this one is our gateway in Volney. So if we hit this and we hit trace route, okay, we get this little sign right here that tells us that there's a trace route in here. So we can go in here and go trace route, and you notice how it says we're directly connected to it. Now we're not directly connected to it, but because this node that I'm on is a gateway node and it's connected to another gateway node, it sees it as a direct connection. If we hit this, it says trace route received directly by that one. So if we do the other one that we know is RF connected to this, which is this one here, we'll run trace route on this one. We go in here, we'll see one hop. Now, why is it one hop? It's 100 miles away. Well, because it's going from me directly to this one. These are connected via the internet, and then it just takes one more hop to get it to the this unnamed one right now, because it didn't capture the full Monty of it. So again, that would be a one hop, because these are all 0 hop. This one is a 0 hop to the other one, so it just took 1 hop to do that. Okay, and that's pretty much it. Now, if you want to know how the sausage is made, stay tuned. So hopefully you guys will check this out. Now, I will tell you, with this broker is not. It's, whether it comes in handy for you, that's great. We're not like charging you anything for it or anything else. At least check out the website, novaradiosystems.com/mesh, and see if it sounds like something that you'd be interested in. Again, if you could think of a better way to do this. The only reason that we put it to Nova Radio Systems is because we own that domain, and we couldn't use a IP address with a port, because if you put an IP address and a port in, the app crashes. So you can't actually do that with these. It might be a bug, I don't know, but that was the issue. So thanks for watching. If you're going to stick around, and we're going to get into the minutia of how an MQTT broker kind of works and what we know about it, and how secure this is, and like different behind the scenes kind of stuff, then stay tuned. But if not, we'll see you. All right, so kind of behind the scenes now on how the sausage is made, and what all went into this MQTT broker. And maybe you're thinking, well, I could do this on my own, and I can probably come up with some pretty cool stuff. You're probably right, and you might be better at it than we are. We're not computer guys. This was absolutely horrible for us. It took us literally, like, I kid you not, we worked on this for months, like 9 months, probably close to a year, trying to make this happen. And we even tried to hire somebody to do it for us, and we started locally. We called all the local computer networking IT places, and excuse me, I'm just taking a sip of my pop beer. Anytime you mention MQTT, they pretty much are like, I've never heard of that, so I wouldn't know how to do that. We're like, okay. So we then had to do some research on like what kind of person is an MQTT guy, and it turns out you need what's called a IoT engineer, or Internet of Things. And what these things are developed for, MQTT stands for Message Queue Telemetry Transport. It's kind of like HTTP is Hypertext Transport Protocol. This is a different type of way of sending telemetries. So normally what these are used for is probably like home automation or something like that. So basically what you'd have is you'd have a sensor that would sense like light, right? A light sensor. And then light sensor would publish to a topic. Now notice how we have the word topic. So your topic is the state, right? Well, these would, like a light sensor would like publish to a topic of like, for example, light. When light got dark, it would publish to topic dark, and then like your light sockets would subscribe to that topic, and as soon as the light sockets see the word dark published, they would turn on, right? So you could have one sensor and then have multiple things looking at that one sensor, and of course it goes all over the world. So this is a kind of a handy tool in that case. So that's what it's designed for. So then you start getting into like, well, we're going to run Meshtastic on it. Now you're even, cutting that pie into smaller pieces on people that are going to know what the heck you're talking about. So we went everywhere. We posted everywhere. We finally found on Fiverr, there was like two guys. One of them was from Sri Lanka and the other one was from Bangladesh. And I don't remember which one it was that like actually took the job on, and we paid him to do it. And he did set it up and it was working, but we couldn't make heads or tails of it, and we couldn't configure it, and we couldn't do anything with it. There might have been some language barrier or something, and we really didn't explain it well enough, or maybe he didn't understand because we didn't really understand what we were doing. And so he had this thing up and running, and it just wasn't working, and it was running on an Amazon web server, specifically a virtual private machine, or what's called an instance. Which again, who knows what that is? That's like gobbledygook, right? I don't know. But anyways, we couldn't find any remnants of this thing. Like, we have no idea where it actually was. We don't think it was on that. It could have been, but we couldn't find it because, like, when you upload a web page, right, you got this script, you got this HTML markup language thing. It says, like, if you click this link, it goes here, and there's probably some pictures or something, and then there's a script that tells the picture where to load on the screen, and that kind of thing. We couldn't find anything, like absolutely nothing. No configuration files, no password files, no nothing. So I have no idea if this guy just like completely hosed us or what. I can tell you that it was working, but it wasn't working to how we wanted it to work, and that just kind of went. That's how that went. So we decided to do it ourselves. So for us to do this with just, if we, for example, like the expense behind it, our web server, where we actually have the web server and the domain registered, NovaRadioSystems.com, for us to do this on that existing server that we already have service on, to get the virtual private server, the VPS for that, to put this on, it was an extra $517 a year, and that's assuming that you don't exceed the traffic cap and the amounts of messages and things like that. So we basically tried everything. We tried DigitalOcean, we tried Amazon Web Servers, obviously, and we eventually settled on, because we didn't want to charge anybody for this. We wanted this to be completely free. We wanted you guys to benefit from it, and so what we ended up doing was we ended up just buying the equipment and actually learning how to speak web server language and setting up web servers and having a dedicated server to, instead of a virtual private server, we actually have a private server, and it does nothing but this. And once we set it up, it was only working on that server, that machine, and it wasn't going, for example, into what's called a local area network or a LAN. So even if we had another device or another computer connected via the same router, like we do with where you put a node on Wi-Fi, and then you use a computer and you put in the IP address and go to that node via that. We couldn't even do that. So like that took forever to figure out how to get it into our LAN, and then our LAN into what's called a wide area network, and then our wide area network, we had to somehow figure out how we were going to get the DNS to flip it so that when you went to MQTT.NovaRadioSystems.com, it would flip it and send it to the IP address that the actual broker was located on. Okay, and this is why it took us months to figure this out, and there was really nothing out there, because it's it was, you know, learning this MQTT language and the setup and the configuration of that to make it work for us. Getting a server online and basically starting our own, you know, web hosting company, and then tying that in with our domain name, our DNS, and all this other stuff, and that's why it took so long. And being somebody who knows absolutely zippo about like computers and networking and IT and all this stuff, having to learn it from scratch, and there's no real videos to show you how to set up your Meshtastic, right? Maybe that'll be a video, but it was very tricky. So here's what I know about it. Okay, so when you guys connect to it through us, or probably through anybody, but specifically us because I'm on it, what you're looking at right now, this screen here, is the actual broker. Okay, this is our broker explorer. This is all the behind the scenes, what is seen on our end. Okay, notice that this web address here is a local IP address. We're actually on the same router as the broker, or as the actual server is right now. That's where we are. So we're looking right at this thing. Okay, so when you guys publish a topic, now the topic that I was showing you guys, that has somebody on, so that we could show you what it looks like when nodes pop up and trace routes and things like that, is this one. This is so right now the only thing on this broker is Nova. This is the only topic. So if you guys put in your US ops and use that password and then put in Nova for your topic, it's going to kick you out, because there's only 2 usernames that can get into this, and again, there's nothing there, so why bother? So what happens is, if somebody, you know, goes in, so, and let me just show you this real fast. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go into the T echo, which is the last one that we did, and I'm just going to change the topic here, and I'm going to make the topic, I'm going to make it Connecticut. Okay, so capital C, capital T, and I'm going to save this, and it's going to reboot, and you're gonna see what's going to happen here as far as what we see on our end. You know, even with the super uber user, and can get into anything and do anything and all that. That's what you're going to actually see here live. All right, guys, so as you see here, sorry to pause this video for a second, but as you see here, we have Connecticut now. So if one of you guys is in Connecticut, as soon as somebody logs or signs in with that topic, the topic pops up here. Okay, now here's what we see. If we click on this topic, we see that there's what's called a child, which is in all intent and purposes, it's CT/2, then it goes /C/ long fast if you're on long fast. So these are called children, apparently. These are child topics, children. And if we click on long fast, we can see that this thing sends out data. This is what I see, okay? This is not what it actually sent out. This is probably a message or a telemetry or something, but as you can see, it's gobbledygook. They're not even like letters or numbers or symbols, and I don't know if that means that it's encrypted. Now, again, when we put this in here, that wasn't encrypted, that we didn't turn any encryption on, but that is not in plain English or anything else. I don't know if you can extrapolate anything from that. By that I mean, like, I don't know if there's some 14-year-old Russian kid in his basement that can do something with this. So that's why I don't want to tell you that this is secure. But I'm telling you, from what I know and from what I see, I can't do anything with that. Okay, I'm not going to be able to tell what that is. And you know, that's how that works. Now, for testing, let me just close out of Connecticut here. We're going to go to our Nova one again. Now, one of our Nova ones, we have enabled JSON packets. Those, that's how you say it. Okay, so again, same. Nova is the topic, and then it creates these children topics, childs, whatever. There's number 2, then there's C, long and fast, and then again we get gobbledygook, right? We don't know what that says. There's 3 nodes on this, and okay, here's something with Meshtastic, which is just the same thing that we already know, because that's what it sends out. So maybe I can get a name out of this, but that's about all I'm going to get out of this, is this kind of stuff. Okay. If we go into JSON here, though, these are the JSON packets. Now, with JSON packets, it actually sends like here I can read this word channel 0 and then from, and then I have numbers, ID, and I have this, I have payload, air transmit time. So these are like the transmit times, the battery level. I can see this, right? This actually makes sense to me. So JSON packets or JSON, whatever, seems to be more of a open kind of thing. It makes it more open, but again, like this is pretty much what's getting sent anyways. So if you have a node on that topic, this is the information that you would get anyways. I don't know if you sent a message, like a direct message, if it would show up in here. So, I mean, I would say err on the side of caution and just turn JSON off. And if you turn JSON off, you won't be able to have somebody like me with a broker, or I'm sorry, with an Explorer go in here and like read this kind of stuff. And just to be on the safe side. Again, I don't know. Some of you guys watching this might really be into this MQTT stuff and know like a lot about it, and by all means chime in. But I just don't. And so that's why I err on the side of caution and don't send anything that's super sensitive. Yeah. Now I just want to show you one more thing. So as we were saying about this having, like, for example, we'll go over to Connecticut again. You have Connecticut CT/2/C/long fast, right? These are your things. So if somebody in Connecticut, let's say Connecticut just gets really pounded, right? And there's like all these nodes in Connecticut, and you're like, you know what, we need to further divide Connecticut into, smaller sections of Connecticut, right? And this is something that you guys can completely do. So like you can go, I apologize for people in Connecticut. I'm not 100%. I don't know that I've ever been to Connecticut. I possibly have, but I'm just going to make a subtopic here, and it's going to be Hartford. So I think Hartford is a major city, and I hope it's in Connecticut. It's not like Hartford, Indiana or something. But anyways, I just created a subtopic now. So all I did was in my topic where we put in the topic CT, I then put a slash, and then I put in, again, all caps, I put in Hartford. Okay. So now what we're going to see here is in Connecticut, not only do we have the regular 2C long and fast, but we've made it a little bit smaller here, and we've created one just for Hartford, Connecticut. So again, you got Hartford now, 2, and then C, and then long and fast. Okay? And there's the name of my node. Yeah, that's about the only thing that was sent in the open. Everything else is just gobbledygook, and I don't know what it says or what to do with it. So anyways, so you could substitute Hartford for example, like let's say you're a radio club in Connecticut and your name is, what's a good radio club name? The Mother RFers? Oh, that's too long. Can't do that. See here, Connecticut, and we're gonna go slash. I'm just going to go Radio Raiders. So let's say in Connecticut there's a radio group named the Radio Raiders, and the Radio Raiders would like to have their own MQTT whatever. What I did was I went in there and I put in the CT slash and then Radio Raiders. So now all the people that are Radio Raiders have their own topic in Connecticut, and there it is. So yeah, these are, and this is completely up to you guys. You guys can do this, and you guys are, you can create this. You just have to start with a state like CT. We have you guys locked into that. Reason being is because if we run into an issue, we want to be able to like isolate that issue, immediately. If we start getting, any kind of abuse on here, or we get, on the website I use the example of a disaster, right? A hurricane hits Florida and knocks out all communication. We have some people with nodes down there And what they want to do is they have an area that's just outside the affected area that has internet, and then they use nodes and they can hop their signal into the affected area and effectively connect to MQTT and then send that to wherever. Well, in that case, what we would do is we would probably just stop all access to the user US ops and make sure that the group that is assisting in that area has the full resources of the broker and to use it for that kind of thing. So that's why we blocked it into states versus any other way where you can just get into anything. So and if there's any, like, for example, a search and rescue group out there who would like we have Nova you can't get into. If there's a search and rescue group or some other public safety thing that would like to use this, but they don't want somebody with a broker, for example, like mine, to be able to get into their information and view their information, then we can set you up that way too if it helps you out. Just let us know what we can do. There's a couple things that we kind of figured out and can do a little bit more advanced stuff, but for the most part, like I said, we don't want to lock this into any specific thing where only this group can talk to this group. We want this to be a local community kind of thing. So if you're in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and you want to have like an Albuquerque group in the state of New Mexico, it's NM, I believe. That's how you do that. You put the NM/Albuquerque, and that's going to be your local group. If there isn't anybody local and they're 3 major cities away, then you just connect to the state one, and you could talk to people in your state. Or if you have a father-in-law that lives in another state and you want to connect to him, and you connect to his state or he connects to your state, it's completely up to you. You guys can use it however you want to use it. We just wanted to kind of break it up a little bit so that you didn't have the global MQTT server that Meshtastic has, where it just there's so many nodes on there, and your node can only handle so many that you're kind of just like lost in the sauce. So that's what we did, and that's why we did what we did. So if you guys have any questions, ask them. I'll try to answer them. I'm not a computer wizard, expert, IT guru guy, but this is what I've been able to figure out, and this is what we've done with it. So, thanks for watching, and keep us posted if there's something else that you'd like. Until next time, see ya.